We talk so much historically about skills that are emotional in nature, that are people-centered as being soft skills. And I'm so pleased that the conversation is shifting a bit and away from soft skills, that they're in fact power skills and critical skills. And you use that language too, Ben, it's critical. So I think shifting that these aren't just nice to have anymore. It really is. You have to be able to have the ability to understand yourself and have that curiosity, that desire to bridge with someone who might be different. These are skills that anyone can develop. You, of course, need a framework and support in which to do that. Global environment, if you're sitting at your desk and you could be working anywhere, there's really no global branding necessarily around you. So how can you have folks feel connected and passionate about the work that we're doing if you're not physically sitting with your team? So that work of really having clear mission, vision, and values across your organization, and not just having it be something that looks really nice on a website and for sure during a job posting and in your job description, but something that takes really intentional, deep work, starting with your recruitment process and through all stages of the life cycle. Flexibility, right? And understanding what flexibility looks like and what folks in the research that you've done at Lighthouse, Ben, that really ties into all aspects of how we work together, assuming that folks want to hear news the same way and they want to develop relationships the same way, really leaning in with that curiosity of, well, how do you like to communicate? How do you want to raise ideas? What feels safe and productive for you? And having managers with some tools on how to do that and how to model that, that's really going to help the organization be aligned culturally and enable folks to feel more engaged in that they can be themselves at work and do their best work. So some practical ways for managers and really all team members to do that is for sure taking those few extra minutes to build some relationship with folks. As a team leader, of course, group meetings will be part of that, but making sure you're also doing one-on-one connections with your team members. If you are expecting to make a lot of decisions, maybe having a little bit more time ahead of that big conversation to get people's input and ideas, because they may not feel comfortable raising that in a group setting. Another idea too could be doing watch parties as an example. We've experimented that with a bit at Aperian, where maybe that company call or that big team meeting isn't happening in your time zone this time, but host a watch party in your own time zone with ideally a local management member that can be there to take questions. So at least you're watching a recording together, but finding ways to be creative in meeting people where they're at globally so that they don't feel they're getting news or changes secondhand, third hand. They're the last ones to know. How can you be creative with that communication in a way that's going to be most meaningful and impactful for them?